Okay, hi guys. Today we're going to be doing a lesson over typing your essay. And I know some of you are probably like, I know how to type my essay. This is a dumb lesson. I already know this. Well, there's certain things that with formatting goes, some of us are doing very well at. And then there's some of us that are really struggling and our papers are looking kind of weird and informal. And there's just some things that we need to practice in class. So that's what this lesson's for. So please don't just assume you know everything, and there will be some things that I'm going to ask you to do in this video that we're going to be looking for on your actual ECR grade. So if you get your grade back and you're like, I got points taken off, I didn't even know I was supposed to do this. This is a lesson that tells you what we're looking for and how we're going to be actually grading your formatting. So your formatting is going to be only half of your grade. And then we're going to be really looking at your body paragraph number 2 to see if you have started to really write the SCR the correct way and you pay attention to this lesson. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to try to do this quick so I don't run out of time. First and foremost, at the top of the paper, this is what your blank paper should look like. It should be on Teams. What you're going to do is you're going to highlight this part, okay? Now, a lot of people, for some reason, left this the same last time. I don't know if they either didn't notice it or they're like, I don't know what to do. But you're going to highlight it and you're going to put your actual name. So, for example, I'm going to use Miss Sanchez because it's weird when it's Amanda Bear with Mrs. Bear, right? So let's say Miss Sanchez was writing this paper. That would be her first and last name. Then we have Mrs. Bear, and then we have all the rest of this you don't have to worry about because we're trying to get you to practice MLA format. So in college, you'll have like Professor Mouton, right? That would be your professor there. And then this is usually your course that you're in. And then the date is kind of different, but this is MLA format, and you will use that a lot later on in high school and then early college. Okay. The next thing I want to talk about is the title. The title you do not have to mess with. Please don't change it. Please don't try to make it something, catchy. We are just trying to get you to get really basic and function. I know some of you are very creative and we're really limiting your creativity. We're going to write things where that is not the case. So just trust us on these ECRs that we are trying to do it for a reason. Okay. The next thing that you're going to do is you're going to press right after the title. And I'm going to show you some things with what we call alignment. And let me get my keyboard out. So let's say I wanted to start my intro paragraph. I'm going to press enter. Okay. And when I press enter, it starts me off in the middle of the screen. And some of you just start typing away. And when you do that, it looks really weird and it doesn't look good. It looks very like all over the place. And so we want to avoid that. So to fix alignment, you're going to come up here to this guy and it's going to if you hover over, it's going to say text alignment. You're going to click on the drop down and you're going to click left. Okay. And that is where you go to basically make sure that your paragraphs are starting on the left-hand side of the page. And as you write, it goes towards the right. Okay. This has been how it's been done forever. As far as typewriters go, it just makes the paper look formatted very clean. Okay. And what we're going to do is we're going to type our paper together. Okay. We're going to type parts of it together and the rest of it you're going to be kind of on your own with. So first and foremost, you are going to, let me pull up my paper here. I'm going to minimize this guy, and then I'm going to pull up my paper, and then I'm going to make this on the left-hand part, okay? So, and I apologize, I know this looks kind of crazy, but I'm trying to get you. So this, what I've highlighted in yellow and circled, this is our intro paragraph. So paragraph numero uno, number 1. And so I'm simply going to type this paragraph out. And I know you're probably thinking it's only one sentence. Well, we will get to a place in the year where you can add your spiciness, you can add your Beyonce sentences, you can add things that kind of extend on your intro paragraph. But right now, we're just really trying to get the basics down and we're trying to get the basics perfect. So that way, when you do add your spiciness, it works. Okay. So I'm going to type this really quick. Okay, now a lot of you would just go on to the next paragraph, and that's it, right? I'm telling you, and this comes from a person, I have a little bit of dyslexia and I have a lot of ADHD. I type quick, and so I'm going to make mistakes, and that is like okay. But you got to go back and you got to read, because when I'm reading some of y'all's text, it's like this person did not reread their responses. So it says Cabeza de Vaca and Solano are both similar. B. Okay, that's a problem. That's supposed to be by being resilient and observant. Okay, so here we go. That is our intro paragraph number 1. Now, here, and then sometimes it will suggest stuff. I ignore it sometimes, because sometimes it's just suggesting it because like of tone, or it's suggesting it because it thinks it sound better. But there's sometimes when if it's red, it's spelled wrong. So you always want to fix it then. Okay, so let me pull my keyboard back up. So I need to start a new paragraph, right? This pink is an entire paragraph. So what I'm going to do is I know you don't have this keyboard, but you literally have it on your keys. You're going to press enter, and then you're going to press tab. And that just ensures that all your paragraphs are starting with the same indentation. Now on Eduphoria, and like let's say you're taking a benchmark or you're taking a star, you're just going to press enter because their tab does not exist. So we are just kind of practicing the skill in Word, because that's how you show that you're starting a new paragraph, is you enter and then you tab. You know, I wish I could make it into a cool song. Enter, tab, enter, tab, enter, tab, but I can't. Okay, so I'm going to take this off the screen, and I'm going to type this paper really quick. I'm going to type this paragraph. Okay, so I put one similarity between Cabeza de Vaca and Solano is they are both resilient, period. Now, a lot of people, and we saw this mistake when we were first doing these papers, is the first ECR is that you think this is a new paragraph. It's not. This is all one big piece of the SCR sandwich. So this is like, this would be, let's say, the bologna, right? You want to keep this all together. So I'm not going to press enter tab yet. I'm going to keep on typing. In Article 2, the text, I'll go back and fix that in a second, states, he admitted that eating insects or bitter plants felt unnatural at first, but in the wilderness, there was no choice. End quote. Okay, so I definitely want to go back and read just real quick, because I see some pop-ups. One similarity between Cabeza de Vaca is, let's see what they say for this, is that they are both resilient. In article spelled wrong, and the text states he admitted that eating insects or bitter plants felt unnatural at first, but in the wilderness, there was no choice. Okay, so I'm going to keep on typing, because again, this is all one piece of this is all one paragraph. Keep it all together. Don't press enter tab yet. Also, in diary entry number 4, it states, I'm going to put a quotation mark, months later, we escaped, though freedom was only another road. After that came endless marches, ... end quotes. And then again, people see this big space here, or like some of you might not have a space. I have a space because I write small. This does not mean to start a new paragraph. This just means that there was space there after the text evidence. I'm going to put, this evidence shows that both Solano and Cabeza de Vaca had to overcome great challenges. Period. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to, since this is a brand new paragraph here, I'm going to again press enter tab. Okay, and I'm going to start this. I'm not going to do this whole, because you should have a completely different one than me. So in addition to this. I'm going to put dot, dot, dot. Okay. So that's what your paper should look like. Now we're grading this guy right here, and then we're going to make sure that you have conclusion too. So just because I stop typing here does not mean that you are done. You should type the rest of your paper. I've just been doing this video to go over the things that we're looking for. The last thing that we are going to really pay attention to, I'm going to make this big now, is we are going to highlight. Okay. And this is a skill that we are trying to really make sure that you know, because if you highlight, you can start to see the pattern, and the pattern means that your writing is going to be more clearly organized. Okay. So we know our main idea number one is going to be resilient. So I'm going to double click this, and you can highlight two different ways. It could be up here or it could be down here. It's whatever your preference. Our main idea number one is always going to be yellow. And then our main idea number two, so I double click, is going to be green. Okay. So these are the two places that you can highlight, right? Now, this is body paragraph number one, and it's all about Solano and Cabeza being resilient. So this is my main idea number one. So which color is that? That would be yellow. And then our citation is always going to be blue. So your parts where you're quoting the text is always going to be blue. And then our last part, our explanation of our SCR, it should be, when we've been teaching it in class, it's been orange, but they don't have orange. Okay, so this is where you have to pay attention to the video. We're going to go with magenta. It bothers me. I don't like it, but we don't have any other options, so we're going to do magenta. And so then you have this structure there. Now, this sentence, this first sentence in your body paragraph one, should be green. Okay, so this should keep on going, and the text evidence is going to be blue, and then your explanation is going to be pink. Now, Horizons kids, your challenge is that when you write your conclusion and you type it, that you are restating your thesis, but you are making sure that your main idea one and main idea two are still obvious, and that you are able to highlight it the corresponding colors. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. The last thing I'm going to say before y'all start typing is that you want to make sure your font looks like this. So either it's Aptos body, or we are fine with Times New Roman. Don't go try to find a weird new font. Don't try to find something cursive that's pretty. When you're writing for an academic purpose, you want to make sure that your font is professional, clearly structured, and that it doesn't try to do too much. Okay. So these are the things that we're grading for. Did you put your first and last name? Check, right? Does your paragraphs, are they entered, and can I clearly see that there is organization to them? And then the last thing we're going to be looking for is it highlighted correctly. Did you highlight? Did you follow this video and do what you're supposed to be, what you were told to do? Okay. Hope this video helped. Make sure you type the rest of your paper. You're on your own. I believe in you. Have a great day.